want to introduce our next speaker, but as I'm doing that, I want to tell you a story, and I want to start it with a word, and you've just got to know this. The word is struggle, and I want you to know we all struggle. You're looking around, and everybody has no problems, nobody struggles. Listen to me. We all struggle. Some of you have financial struggles. Some of you are afraid to speak on this stage. Who wants to speak on this stage, right? Coming up. You guys want to get up here? Some of you struggle at listings. You struggle at figuring out real estate. You struggle with relationships. You got teenage son, daughter. Struggle. You guys with me? Anybody married? It's easy. Never had a fight. My wife and I are in pure bliss. I've been married 30 years next month. Thank you, Jesus. It'll make you believe. It'll make an atheist believe. Now, it is awesome. I love my wife. But let me tell you, you're going to struggle in real estate. Y'all understand? So if you're going to grind, if you're going to struggle, you might as well build something while you grind and struggle. Because many of us here have been at this for decades. And we are like John McKesh did such a beautiful job. You get in, you're like, how do I even do real estate? I remember my first 6 months, sold 3 homes. How many of you call that struggle? Next year, 18. It wasn't even, next year, the 28. Fourth year, 48. Go to Craig Proctor super conferences. Go to 128 the next year, then 228, because I just started emulating success. And when I got to over 200 sales, he said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And he said, go find the biggest, baddest rock star in real estate or agent attraction or investing or who has a great marriage or is really good with his kid and copy that person. Get to know them, find out their secret sauce to success, and just emulate it, replicate it. So I looked around, and I was a RE/MAX agent at the time, and I was selling a few hundred homes a year, but there's this guy in a military town out in the middle of Oklahoma named Jay Kinder. Lawton, Oklahoma, man, 110,000 people selling. He's the #1 Coldwell Banker agent in the world. From Manhattan, New York. No, from Lawton. He's from Lawton. He wasn't from San Diego. He wasn't from LA or San Francisco. He wasn't from Miami. He was from Lawton. Selling 600 homes a year. So I'd heard him speak at Craig Proctor. I go, you know what? I'm going to see if I could go shadow him for a day. Called him up, Jay, can I come out to your office? He goes, yeah, man, come on out. He said, yes. He said, yes. Darn, I got to buy a ticket now. And I flew to Oklahoma City. I remember he arranged for someone to give me a ride in a pickup truck. I'm from California. We don't have pickup trucks. We have pickup lines. So I got a pickup truck with like his uncle. It's like hay and stuff in the back. And we rode in a bench seater all the way out to Lawton for 2 hours. And I get to Jay's one stoplight town, one restaurant, the Golden Corral. I go to his office, and I just watch him for the day. I take notes like I'm an FBI agent. I observe everything he does. I only really remembered one thing from all of it is that he was on the radio, and he was killing it with listings. And I wanted to transition to listings. And so I got a hold of his guy, Matt Wagner, radio and TV experts who'd never been outside of Lawton, and say, can you replicate this in California? He's like, I think so. And Matt Wagner comes to California a long time ago, and I was customer number 02. And a lot of you know Matt Wagner out there, radio and TV experts, good dude. And Matt helped me copy Jay. He said, here's the playbook, here's what we do. And all of a sudden, years later, I started selling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homes. I 10x'd my business. So a little message there. And then, okay, I got this big team. I'm selling hundreds and hundreds of homes. I'm making $3.8 million a year in gross commission income. But my tax return says I made $1.2 million. In some years, it's $700,000 or $800,000. And you know what? There's GCI, pretty impressive, made $1.9 million. And then there's your tax return, the truth. Try to get a bank loan. Tell them what your GCI is. They'll pat you on the head and say, that's sweet, young man, young woman. But the truth is you made $210,000 and your bills exceed that and you can't have a loan. But I made $1.9 million. And so we've all been there. We bought the franchises. We have the trophies. We have the recognition on the rosters. And we have the scars to prove it. Scars. We gave blood, sweat, and tears. And all of a sudden, we find this model. And I call Cliff Freeman, Cliff and Karen, give them a hand. Beautiful couple. And they call Al Stasek, the #1 superstar from NAEA, whose best buddy in the world is Jay Kinder, and Jay's visiting him out in Cincinnati. I hope it's Cincinnati, right? Cincinnati? Yeah. And Cleveland, same thing, starts with a C, whatever, details. Now here's the deal. By the way, when you're from California, back east is Denver, just so you know. Freaking never went past Denver. Jesus wouldn't have gone past Denver. Okay, now, it's like Nazareth or something, Galilee, whatever, Denver. Like Vail's far enough. You can walk across that pond. So here's the deal. I'm really glad Al begged Jay, that's his name, Jay, to look at EXP. And Jay's like, it's your best buddy. You got to do it. Some of you use that. You're my uncle, and I need you to look at this. You're my best friend. One of my best friends in the world, who I have called at 2 in the morning when I was in trouble, is here in the audience today. Check it out, EXP, with hundreds of agents in his company. I'm excited you're here, by the way. You know who you are. But I'm telling you what, Jay saw the vision, came out to Fort Lauderdale. All of EXP was over here, right? And I tell you what, it's never, ever been the sense, because here's what we did different. We quit drinking the buy a franchise Kool-Aid. We have people speaking tomorrow who sell 700 homes a year and 1,700 homes a year. And they've all got those prizes. But they realize where it's at is building, not just recruiting, building a sales organization, creating something, having ownership in a rocket ship called EXP World Holdings, not Realty. Your stock is in EXP World Holdings. It's a big, important, really good thing. And we realized one thing. If you list 40 homes this year, that is awesome, and we commend you, and good for you. But it's just going to be another year. But if you list 40 agents, hear me out. If you list 40 agents, your life will never, ever be the same again. No. One of the keys is not 40 agents in 4 years, not 10 a year for 4 years. It's like a can of Coke or Pepsi. You shake it up, you pop the top as a chemical reaction, right? It's 40 agents this year. Agents who sell real estate, need to sell real estate, want to sell real estate, but have a vision for the opportunity. And if you'll do that, you're gonna change your children's life. You're gonna give vision and hope. You're gonna roll up your sleeves and go to work for people and fight for people. I used to fight for homeowners. Now I fight for agents and their kids. And some of you are still fighting for homeowners and helping them. That's good. But like Sheila, when Sheila finally said, I'm going to become a recruiter, and I will get rid of that word recruit forever. You can become a builder. You can do what Coldwell Banker did, and Berkshire Hathaway did, and Sotheby's, and Christie's, and Keller Williams, and all these celebrated companies. You're going to build something beautiful that is so valuable. It's going to change lives. Are you with me? So it is my privilege and honor to introduce you probably one of the biggest shakers and movers and history makers, not only EXP, but the world has ever seen, Mr. Jay Kinder. Get him out here from Puerto Rico, California.
What up? How's everybody doing? Let's go, baby. So you know, they put me up here last. I think it's because they know I don't pay attention to the clock. That's probably why. Brent always starts with a story being from Lawton, Oklahoma, and I have one claim to fame. I can't see very many people out there because of the lights. But the claim to fame is I graduated into the top 25 of my class, but there was only 36 of us. So, I usually don't tell everybody that second part. And I've been in real estate for a long time, man. I love this business. So my mom and dad are here. Thank you for getting me into real estate, by the way. Appreciate you. And Al, thank you for getting me into EXP, my brother. And Michael Reese, my partner in crime, you'll get to hear from him tomorrow. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. But what I want to tell you guys is this. I believe in a few different things, and these wounds that we have and these scars that we have in building these businesses, as Brent discussed, is, you can build a really big business, but it all goes to zero at midnight, and you got to start over. It's great. You have a month, you sell 50 houses. On the first of the month, you got to do it again. And that gets really old after a while. And so I'm a pretty simple person. I believe everybody needs a coach. And a good coach and a mentor, I believe that anybody who has a good coach or mentor can 5 to 10x their business. And I was just dumb enough to find the people that were smarter than me that were already having success, and I copied exactly what they did. We used to joke about it. Jay Abraham is one of our mentors, and he used to get mad at us because me and Mike Reese, we would find something and we would copy it. We'd be like, hey, copycatter number 1, this is copycatter number 2. We find something good, we copy it, and we were really good at copying. I mean, really good. And so the reason that's important is if you, and I had a lesson. I remember one time I had a coach that told me to make all my calls and follow the script. Has anybody ever said these leads suck before? Anybody ever said that? Yeah. Anybody ever have an agent in your company or on your team say that? Well, I said it too. And he said, well, you're not using the script. I said, no, I am. I'm using the script. It's right here in front of me. He said, record your calls and send it to me. So I did. And I sent him these calls, and he listens to them, and he said, you didn't follow the script. I said, yes, I did. He played it for me, and I said, see, I followed the script. He said, no, you didn't. Listen again. And I found out that I was changing just enough that I wasn't getting the result. And I didn't know that it was going to work, but I said, okay, I'll follow it exactly. Let's see what happens. And I did, and it changed the result. I started getting leads and setting appointments, and it started working. And after that, I said, I've got to be a better copycatter. I've got to be better at listening and implementing exactly what I see. If somebody tells me something's working, I'm going to listen really good. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to get the same result. Then I might change it, but don't change it before that. And that was a lesson I learned really early in real estate that has helped me to build an organization, to build a large team, to do a whole lot here with EXP and revenue share. And so it's super fascinating if you can just be a good copycatter, and a good mentor or coach can change your life. Pay attention to the people that you have in this room. You're surrounded by excellence here, surrounded by highly successful individuals. There's not a problem you have in your real estate business that can't be solved by somebody in this room. And that's what this is all about. If you're trying to get from here to here, then we can help you get there, right? That's the beautiful thing. All right, so here's what we're going to share. So one of the things that I focus on is building systems and processes. And so I really reflected on what is it exactly that's helped this organization grow. Some people there's a lot of different things, and you're going to have a lot of different takeaways and a lot of different strategies that you can use for agent attraction. What I really wanted to do was share with you guys what I feel has worked the most for the most people in my organization that are growing and building what I see to be $1 million plus in passive income. Is anybody interested in building $1 million in passive income? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to show you the system, the process that we use to do that. So, how to attract 1,000 agents to EXP without ever having to talk to someone who doesn't want to talk to you first, answering their hard questions, or having to sell them, right? So if you're thinking about recruiting as trying to sell someone on EXP, it's kind of hard, right? But here's the thing. They all have a goal that they want to accomplish, and it isn't changing brokerages, okay? So we're not going to start with that. So I've gone through my introduction. You guys know me. So this is my family. Now, I live in Puerto Rico. Now, how many of you were thinking I might come out here in swimming trunks and no shoes, right? I have that much respect for you guys that I put pants on, and normally I don't. Most days I don't wear pants. I wear a swimsuit. So this is a picture of my family in Puerto Rico, where I live. I'm, as you can see, from Puerto Rico. I'm a Gringo Rican is what they actually refer to me now, since I have my driver's license there. In a million years, I never thought I was going to move my entire family to Puerto Rico. It's a crazy thing to do, I'll be honest with you. But what I didn't understand moving to Puerto Rico was how many people would actually come visit me. Now, this is the most interesting thing, and I think Mr. Russ Bowen might be in the room here today. If so, you should definitely meet him. But these are my kids. That's Braden, Carson, Kinley, my mom, Connie, my wife, Amber, Riggs, myself, and my dad, Johnny, and then Russ Bowen. And so I like to tell this story because it's just one of the many stories of people that come visit. And so Russ calls me one night. It's probably 12 o'clock. And he says, hey, man, I'm coming to Puerto Rico. I was like, there's an outside chance that he might actually be coming to Puerto Rico, but I didn't think he was really coming. And so at 3 o'clock in the morning, my wife wakes up and she said, did Russ call? And I said, no. I picked up my phone and Russ was at the airport. Now, Russ didn't know the protocol to get through the airport or any of that stuff. And so he was just coming to hang out. And he gets to my neighborhood. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and good old Russ is sitting there. He has no bags. He didn't bring one bag. He just showed up in Puerto Rico. He also told me on the phone, he said, man, I'll see you in a couple hours. And when he hung up, I was like, I wonder if he knows it's a 5-hour flight. The first thing he said when I answered the phone was, damn, that was a long flight. So anyways, but people come visit. It's a beautiful life, man. It's absolutely life-changing. It's beautiful in Puerto Rico. Not saying everybody's going to want to live there, but I'm telling you, you definitely want to come visit. Having fun at the beach all day long. Now, I'm just going to show you guys this because let me tell you what I want from all of you right here is I want you to know that this is the biggest damn opportunity you've ever seen in your life, and you better walk out of here treating it that way because it is unbelievable what you can accomplish. And I think the only reason they let me come up here and talk is because if I can do it, I promise you any of you can do it. There's no question about that. And so that's what the numbers look like the last time I pulled it. I've got 91 people that I personally sponsored. If I was hired to recruit for a real estate company, they would have fired me. That's not even 2 people a month. You guys hear what I'm saying? 2 people a month. Anybody in the room can do 2 people a month. It's not that big a deal, but you're gonna have to follow a process in order to do it. And you're gonna have to learn some new skills, and that's some of the things I'm gonna share with you here today. So, but I want you to see the bigger opportunity. So this is all possible, and this happened in 45 months. Guys, most of us have financed our cars longer than that, okay? I spent 24 years of my life trying to build wealth and never got anywhere close to what's been accomplished here in a short period of time. It's unbelievable, and the time to act is now, not later, okay? So, revenue share, my first 3 years, I want you to understand what exponential is. And a lot of people don't understand this. I didn't understand it. Your brain doesn't know how to do compound math. But that's what the revenue share was my first 3 years. That's what it is this year. Wow. Is that crazy? That's crazy. But that's what exponential means. When something grows exponentially, it continues to compound upon itself. It's the most fascinating thing that you'll ever see. In fact, Einstein calls compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. I'm going to say the compounding of EXP is the 8th wonder of the world. It's unreal. So look at it this way. So this is harness the power of exponential growth. If you think about each person that you bring into the company and you help every single one of them bring another person, hold the mic, got it. So if you just had every single person recruit 2 people a month, look what happens. That's exponential. So the focus has to be, you got to help everybody bring a friend when they come over to EXP. That's the goal. Every single person that comes, you got to help them get their first person. And that's what exponential does. Now, here's another thing to think about. So 50 agents, that's roughly, now I'm using some average numbers. So you see a lot of the numbers and you may not know. After a little while, there's about an average number that you're gonna make per agent. I'm using $812 in this example. It might not be true for everybody depending on what market you're in, where your agents are, what their production is, but that's what mine's been. And I've got 40, so I've unlocked all 7 levels. This is what each one of these tiers, 1,000 agents is worth $67,000 a month, right? So that's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal, all the way down to 5,000. Some people have more than that at this point. So huge numbers here, right? Now, what other vehicle do you have in your life? And I believe that all of you are going to be looking for passive income at some point. I was buying rental property. I was trying to create wealth through all kinds of different things. I've never seen anything like this. But look at what you would have to save in order to, the capital investment, how much you would have to save in order to create the same amount of money. I would have to have, right now, based upon that last check, $101,490,000 after taxes. I would have had to have earning 5% interest in order to make what I made last month. That would never happen in any other opportunity, and in 4 years it happened for me. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen for everybody, but it will if you do the right things and follow a process. That's what I do know. And I'm seeing it happen over and over and over again with people in this company that are following a process and they're consistently working on this, doing the work, like Sheila said. So it is absolutely possible. So, and this is what I know. If you can get to 50, it's hard. You get to 50, you can get to 500. I know it's an absolute fact. If you can get to 500, I know you'll get to 5,000. I know that's what happens. I've watched it happen over and over and over and over. And I want to share with you guys what I'm seeing people do that's working. So that's what we're gonna get into. The number one key to success at EXP and Agent Attraction, in my belief, is committing to a process, to a system that you stick to. And if you don't stick to the system, you don't get the results. Exponential growth principle, this is a writer downer. If it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't matter. Does everybody understand what that means? Right? So if you can do, let's say for instance that I could go buy billboards all over Dallas, Texas, and that, let's say, suggest that might work. And I recruit from that. No person that comes and joins EXP is going to be able to do the same thing. Therefore, my group is not going to grow. Does that make sense? You better make it a process. How you bring people into this company is very important, and you have to teach people to use that same process. I do three-way calls with my team all the time. How many of you in here have ever been on a three-way call with me? Anybody? Y'all sleeping? All right. So if you've ever been on a three-way call, the three-way call, and I'm going to get into exactly what happens on the three-way call here in a little bit. But that on those three-way calls, I get to go through the process of helping them get to the conclusion that EXP is going to be the solution, and partnering with all of us at EXP is going to be the solution to getting from A to B. Whatever their B is, whatever their goal is, we're going to help them get there by going from A to B. We're not going to talk, it's not going to always be revenue share. It's not going to always be the stock. It's not going to always be that. It's going to be how do we help them accomplish their goals from going from where they're at to where they want to go. When they believe that you and EXP's business model as a platform can help them do that, that's when they join, right? So if it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't matter. What does it take to be successful? Mindset, skills, and systems. These are the three things I'm going to talk about today. Mindset, you've heard about all day today. You've heard mindset, right? This starts in everything you want to do in life and you want to be successful at, it starts with mindset, right? Every single day, you better be doing something towards this goal. You better have a goal. You better be tracking it. You better be doing it. So everything small, I heard this earlier today. I think it was in the video that we started. Everything big starts small. It will not feel like it's growing very fast. Let me just say that, okay? It's gonna feel like it's growing slow, but that's the beauty of compounding. Things get 3 turns into 10, turns into 30, turns into 90. One day you'll look up and you'll have 30 more people join your organization, and you won't even have talked to most of those people, and you'll be like, what is going on? This thing is taking on a life of its own. That's what you want to happen. So if you want to change the size of your revenue share group, change something you do daily. I talk to people all the time, and they kind of halfway do this every once in a while. Commit to doing it daily. Anything in life that you want to change, do something daily, period. Every day, track your numbers, and never miss a day, ever, right? Ever, ever, ever. So it's all about you. This is the other thing. I hear a lot of people make excuses. Oh, it's not working. I tried this, I tried that. No, 100-0. Be accountable. Be accountable to yourself. Don't just try to make excuses or say it's not working. It's worth it for you to do anything and everything you can to learn where you're wrong, because if it's not working for you, you're doing something wrong. That's what I can tell you. There's too much evidence of success at EXP that this works, right? So mindset, be coachable, be humble, be obsessed, do the hard work, take massive action, and have confidence. Even if you don't feel like you could help somebody, do you guys believe, just from the people you've seen here, that we can actually help anybody with any problem they have in their business? If they've got a problem in their real estate business, we can help them with that, right? And I'm telling you, the stock will change their lives, revenue share will change their lives, but I'm telling you, if they have a goal of trying to do more, and people ask me all the time, well, what's EXP not good for? I said, well, it's not good for anybody who doesn't want to grow. Guess what, guys? We're all here at this event. What Brent was talking about earlier, what we've done our whole careers, we fly to events, we learn from the best of the best, we fly to people's houses, like Brent came and flew to mine. I've flown in, me and Mike, we've gone to every person's house, and like for 1 year we traveled and went to all the top agents in the world, like all their houses and their businesses, and learned from them. And Curtis Johnson, who you'll hear from tomorrow, same thing. We used to spend all this time together. We used to say, man, it would be cool if we could put all our fires together and we'll make one big fire. Well, guess what? That's what this is. Now we're all able to partner together, make one big fire, working together to grow something unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, all right, so getting fired up. Commit to working on your growth mindset daily. Either you better be listening to something positive daily. You guys know this. Surround yourself with positive people. You've heard this over and over today. That's not new. Set goals and track what you do daily. You are selling EXP and your group. It's not just about the business model. You are selling the people that are going to be able to help them with their challenges and growing their business. We'll talk more about that here in a second. There isn't a problem that we can't solve, right? So, and be relentless, right? If there's ever a time in your life to be relentless and focusing on a goal, it's right now, right? The best time would have been to plant a tree would have been 10 years ago. The next best time is today. Start right now. Leave this event knowing that you're going to focus on this and you're going to put in every bit of effort you possibly can. It will change your life. So the 3 primary skills that I find people struggle with: finding prospects, inviting prospects, and follow-up. These are the 3 skills, and guess what, guys? Skills can be learned. You can learn any skill. If you're selling real estate and you've gotten any good at it, you probably had to learn a skill on how to talk to buyers, how to talk to sellers, how to set an appointment, how to give a presentation. Those skills can be learned. There are skills that have to be learned when it comes to agent attraction. Just commit to learning those skills, right? Commit to learn those skills, you're gonna get really good at it. You're gonna mess it up a lot in the beginning, that's okay. But you're gonna learn. You're gonna go back to the process, follow the process. So, finding prospects. There's 2 types of prospects when I think about agents that you know or that you've met. We'll call it your met agents, or agents that you haven't met, people you don't know. And I get on these 3-way calls. I think I've done now over 4,000 3-way calls with agents that either have a call or they have a problem and they want my help with helping with agent attraction. And these are the things that they run out of people to talk to at some point. At some point, you're gonna feel like you run out of people to talk to. We're gonna show you how to solve that here in a second. But agents you've met, agents you haven't met. So you're gonna start, this sounds really, really elementary, but I remember we did an event, it was shareholders a few years ago, and Gene, all the biggest builders were on, everybody that was on stage was doing multiple millions. And they said, what was the biggest mistake you made in your journey in agent attraction? And we all said the same thing. We should have done better at making our lists, because everybody that joins, people that you thought never would have joined that you didn't call them because you didn't make a list, they're joining under somebody else. That's what happens, because they're all coming. Okay, they're all coming. So make that list. Do not skip this step. And what we do is we have a wealth chart, which I'll show you in a second. This is from Rob Flick. This is not something we created. But make your list. Every real estate agent in your sphere of influence, agents that you think are ambitious and sharp as a tack. The cool thing about this company is we don't recruit anybody we don't like working with. I mean, is anybody out there trying to recruit the jerk that you don't like working with in real estate? No, we don't want those people anyway. So you only going to recruit people that you like. This is what makes this freaking so fun. It's awesome. So make a list of the affiliates, people you know, and the affiliates, mortgage, title, they always know agents that are struggling. You're gonna build a base of people that you know that now can make introductions and help you with building your own list and recruiting DXP. So your list is your gold mine, and it's always growing. If you don't have a list, I can tell you right now, you ain't serious, right? So this is another thing I can tell people, in all my years, I didn't like calendars. I did not like having a calendar, didn't like it. I thought that was too much, no freedom, right? Like having a calendar, and until I had a calendar, and I was like, oh, this is freedom, right? Like, if you plan your day and prioritize your day, this is how you get there. And once I learned that, I was like, man, if you're serious about something, show me your calendar, and I'll tell you if you're really serious about it or not, right? And so you better have a list. You better have it out in front of you. Don't put it in the drawer. Don't put it somewhere where you can't see it. You want to see it every day. It's looking at you every day so that you don't lose sight of what the goal is, right? Very important. It's one of the most important steps in the process. You can't skip it. That's what the wealth chart looks like. You print it out, put it on the wall. Set your goals for all your levels, update it daily. When somebody sends me one of these, monthly updated, that's who I know is going to be a builder. In my group, in my organization, there's a handful of people that send me this every single month, and that lets me know that they're serious and that they're working on it, and that's the people I'm always going to try to help the most, because I know they're working on it every day, right? They're serious about it. So don't be, whoever your sponsor is or whoever it is that's in your revenue share organization, you can send it to me. I would love to see it, and I'd love to help any one of you. So if you're not doing this, I don't know how serious you are. If you are doing it, then I know you're serious, and it's a big part of the process. So don't skip these steps. Finding prospects. So making a list of all the people you know. Think big, outside your market. Don't just think small. I see this a lot too. A lot of people just think about their own real estate market. There's people you might know in all kinds of different markets all around the country or all around the world now that you could be bringing to EXP or that you could be talking to about this opportunity. So we're going to make a list of all those people. The warm introduction. So these are people that you can leverage, right? So how many of you have friends that live in another state, or friendly or close friends, people you went to high school, people that you have a relationship with? Guess what? Everybody knows a real estate agent, don't they? So hey, I got an opportunity. I'll show you the script. We got an opportunity. I'm looking for a top agent, in your marketplace. You know anybody that's hungry and looking to grow, really looking to grow in your marketplace that sells real estate? Now you can start getting warm introductions from people that you know, relationships that you have, to talk to people about the opportunity of partnering with us at EXP. And we'll get into that script here in a minute. So have them set up a 3-way text. Hey, this is the simple script. Name. My good friend, blank, is here in real estate, and he's looking for a top agent in their market to work with, and I thought of you. Blank is really sharp, and if he's involved, it's definitely something that's worth your time. Simple text, right? That's a little three-way introduction. This is going to be helping you find people to talk to that when you say, I don't have no one else to talk to. People that you haven't met. There's going to be, there's a ton of different ways to look at this. Agents that if you're out showing properties, agents that show your listings, cross-sell agents, agents that you send outbound referrals to or have ever sent an outbound referral to, agents you prospect, agents you met in large real estate groups or on LinkedIn, social media, engagements on social media. All of these things are ways to meet people that you don't know, build a relationship, and have a conversation ultimately about partnering and joining us at EXP. So this is the most important thing. If you want one skill that will make the most valuable thing you can learn is learning how to invite. And this is where 100% of the time everybody messes this up, okay? So like it doesn't, if I was to replay all the calls of people that, usually about 3 calls a day, I have 20 minutes in my calendar, and it's open from 11 to 5, and I'll usually have 3 or 4 people that are struggling with the agent attraction and they want my help. And it doesn't take too long for me to figure out where things go wrong. And it's in the invitation. And there's the invitations here. This is all you invite. You invite to what we call a private group presentation, which is when you launch somebody. I'm not going to get into this. There's a video that's on Brent Gove's channel. You can watch it. I get into the private group presentation in a lot more detail. But a private group presentation is when you launch someone, get a name of all the people that they can, do one presentation to all of them instead of 20 presentations to them individually. Does that make sense? That's launching somebody, okay? That's a private group presentation. Invite to a live presentation. I do live presentations Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 o'clock Central Time. I'm doing a live presentation. Right now it's being recorded because we're going to be making some changes to it. But that's been happening for 3 years straight. There was always a live presentation that you could send someone to watch about partnering with us at EXP. Invite to watch the video. How many of you have watched a video before joining EXP? Raise your hands. Are y'all awake? Because I can't see anything. Everybody? Did everybody watch a video before joining EXP? Okay, so guess what? They're going to have to watch a video, and they're probably going to watch 20 more after that anyways, like we all did. So if you understand that, inviting them to take a look at the opportunity is getting them to watch a video. Why do you want to do that? Because the video does all the heavy lifting. When I say it's got to be duplicatable, that's what I mean by that. You know what? If you have to learn everything that's in that video and be able to say it and articulate it, you ain't ever going to attract and none of your people will either. Because if they have to learn that skill, it just won't grow, right? The video does all the heavy lifting. It gets people far enough down the track that if you put them on a call with someone else in your group that you'll edify, we'll talk about this in the 3-way call. If you do that, then they're going to be a lot easier to answer their questions and get them to say, what's the next step? And after doing, the first year I did 1,000, I've done probably more than 4,000 total calls. I don't really have the breakdown on which ones were 3-way calls versus just helping people with questions and whatnot. But it was a lot. It was a lot of 3-way calls. And at the end, almost the same thing happens. If it's done properly, the same thing happens every time. They say, all right, great, what's the next step? That means they're coming over. And like that's the best sound you can ever hear. When you do that, you know you're doing it right. And sometimes you get to the point at the end of that conversation and they don't ask that question. So then you're setting up the next engagement. You never just let it go into the dark black hole and never talk to them again. Always set up the next engagement. So, and then invite to a live event. Some of you are here at this event, were invited to this event. You know what the reason you were invited? That's part of our process. It's part of the process for how the heavy lifting has been being done today to get you to see the opportunity. Does that make sense? If you get your group bringing people to these events, it's a lot easier to get them to join EXP, okay? They're going to bump into a lot of really smart people that they know can help them, and they're going to see the opportunity differently than you trying to explain it to them over coffee, right? So this is leverage. You want to leverage this group, leverage this time to get the big people to come to these events and bring them over to EXP. So that's part of the process, right? That's the system. So this is my number one. How many know this movie? What's the first rule of Fight Club? When I get on a call and someone tells me, what do you say when they say this? And I know that they've been talking about EXP, I know that they ain't doing it right. Because if you're talking about EXP in the invitation, then you're not doing it right. And this is probably the biggest takeaway I've had. When I watch people that have grown the most, we had a couple, James Massey, where are you at, James? And Dan Hillsman, Andre, you guys are somewhere in here, I'm sure. And I went and looked at my calendar invite, and I did an interview with James Massey, and he gave me the script better than I'd ever heard it said. And I was like, how many times have you been on three-way calls? So I went and looked, and I found like 46 three-way calls that he had been on. And James's group is, I'm not sure, between Dan and James and Andre are all in the 500, 600, 700 range. That means that they're approaching, at the growth rate they're approaching $1 million in revenue in the next 12 months. Not bad, right? But yeah, that's bad to the bone, right? Life-changing. Trust me, life-changing. Life-changing. But they followed this process to the T. They put people on three-way calls, and they follow this process. If you're talking about EXP, you're going to have a lot harder time getting people, because guess what people don't want? They don't want to change brokerages. That's not what they want. There's something else they want. That's what we have to find out. That's what we have to invite them to. It's an opportunity. And so what we do is we use this 8-step invitation script. So it's an invite to watch a video or live presentation. We're not inviting people to an EXP explained. Fundamentally, I want you to all understand that. This is a big difference and a far departure from what I've seen a lot of folks do. I've just seen this work really well because I know inherently that people do want to grow their business and they would like to have a new passive income stream and they would like to create an exit strategy by partnering with top agents that could help them without ever having to pay for coaching, training, or technology ever again. People will show up to that and they'll watch that. They might not show up to an EXP explain. They think they know what it is. 99% of people that you talk to today think they know what EXP is. 99.9% of them do not understand the opportunity. Would you guys agree? If they did, they'd be here, right? Like we know that. That's what we're saying. It's like beating our head against the wall. It's like, why don't you see what I see? Because they have to consume a certain amount of content before they're going to ever understand the opportunity. And if that's the bait you're using, you're gonna lose people. You're just gonna lose people. So don't go out there spewing EXP breath on everybody because it doesn't work. First rule about Fight Club: don't talk about Fight Club. If you remember that and you do that, you will get a lot more people to the point where they've consumed enough information that they're ready to talk about potentially moving over. Right? So the script, real simple: be in a hurry, give a sincere compliment, make the invitation. If I would you. Probably one of the best things that I learned, and I learned this from Eric Worre, and he has a book called GoPro. It's a network marketing book. The principles of network marketing work the same as in agent attraction because the way we bring agents to EXP is through word of mouth. The same way network marketing brings a product to market, the same principles apply. So this works very well. If I was to send you a video, would you take a look at it? If I was to invite you to this lunch and learn, would you be willing to come join me? If I would you. It's a beautiful phrase you want to learn. The commitment. We get a triple commit. The commitment, which I think is actually on the next slide. Let's see. So I don't have much time, Mike, but I respected you and how you do business. Let me ask you a question. If I could show you a way to add a new revenue stream to your real estate business, would you be open to it? If you all tried that approach with 10 people, you're going to get better results than if you say, hey, man, have you heard about EXP? Would you guys agree with that? So learning these are the little nuances of things that are going to move the ball. Like you want to get frustrated, ask 10 people if they want to hear about EXP. That's not going to work. You're going to be like, this sucks. I hate this. I'm not a recruiter. That's what you're going to feel like. But that's not the right approach. So learn these little nuances and it will change the game, right? Just like if you've ever called FSBOs and expires, there's a right way and a wrong way to say everything. And once you learn what works, you ain't afraid of it anymore. It's easy. It becomes easy to you. So learn these scripts. I screwed it up a million times before I ever figured all this out. So I became a better student. So if I was to text you a link to a short video explaining the opportunity, would you look at it? That's the if I would you statement. If I could get one of the top guys in the company on the phone, would you be open to learning more? If I would you. And so the triple commit, this is a big one because a lot of you are going to tell me this because I've been on lots of calls with you and had this has been the issue. Well, I can't get them to watch the video. The video's too long. I get that all the time. The video's too long. Video's too long. Okay, all right. Well, you know what? This is a pretty awesome opportunity, and it takes them a little bit to explain it. So it's not easy to do it in a shorter period of time. They need to consume more. We used to have a phrase when we would do events, time spent with you equals money spent with you. The more time you spend with someone, the more likely you're to spend more money at the event. And that's the same thing here with the EXP, and it builds trust. The more they consume, the more trust goes up, the more interest goes up, the more likely they're to join us at EXP, right? So they're going, as we all know, we all said we've all watched videos before we joined EXP. None of us didn't, right? And a lot of people watched a bunch of videos, right? I was one of those people. And so that is the process people are going to go through. And so the triple commit is a big deal. This increased the number of people that actually watched it when I invited them by 80%. Huge number. And the triple commit is, so if I send you this video, would you watch it? They say yes. You say, well, when would you watch it? When would you be able to watch it by? Now they have to know in their own mind what's going on in their schedule, their day, in order to say, well, I could watch it by Friday night. But surely by Friday I could watch it. And then you say, okay, great. So if I called you on, that's the second commitment. So if I called you on Saturday, you would for sure have watched it by then? Guess what? That's the third commitment. People are 80% more likely to actually watch it if you follow that process. Now, we use a tool. There's several tools. CRM Grow's one. We have one called Expert Mentors that we used, and and BombBomb does this too. And so if you can send a video and know when somebody watches the entire video, then you know that person's probably interested and might have questions, and that's where you tee up the three-way call. That's the process. If you just get good at following the things that I've just gone through right here, this is what I've seen. People that are getting to $1 million in passive income, not influencers, they didn't have a huge list, or I'm talking average agent that was selling real estate, went from selling real estate to don't have to sell any houses ever again for the rest of their life, and they're growing at 5% or 6% a month, doubling every 12 months, and they're at almost 400 to 500,000 in average income. So that's my case study for you guys. Like, I know if it works for them, it will work for you guys, right? That's why you want to follow the process. Makes all the difference in the world. So people you haven't met. So this is more of an advanced strategy. I'm not going to get into a ton of detail on this because there's a lot of ways, and there's a lot of really good ways for you to create content and teach people and get them interested by actually adding value to them first, and then open up the conversation about how to partner with us at EXP, right? So needs analysis. There's a great training that Dave Knorr did, and I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm actually not a very good recruiter, to be honest with you. 2 people a month, right? But Dave Knorr is a great recruiter. And I can't remember the number. I think he said 1,600 recruited 1,600 agents, or how many ever appointments he'd been on. It was 4,000 or something like that. I think he brought in 1,600 agents. I may have made those numbers up, but it was a lot. And so I was like, well, Dave Knorr has done a lot more recruiting than me. And this is in Workplace. I'm not sure exactly where it is. If you just search, you'll probably find it. But Dave Knorr did a training, and this was his needs analysis. He goes through the exact process that he went through with every single one of those agents, and it was fire. It's absolutely perfect. It's what happens. It's very similar to what I do on a three-way call, but it's the same. But this is the process. If you could go through this process with an agent, now you're evaluating whether or not you can help them. This is another way another approach that I would use with people. So, people you haven't met, recruit through. A lot of people say, oh, man, I ran out of people to talk to. Help your agents that you've brought on make their list. Call their people. If they're not willing to make those calls, and you say, man, when that agent's just not doing any agent attraction, you do it for them. Make those calls for them. And invite those agents to take a look at the opportunity. Do it for them. Help them. Because I promise you this, anybody who all has gotten a check in revenue share in here, raise your hand. The first time you got one, wasn't that the coolest thing that ever happened? Right? Like, it was like, this money just came to my account out of nowhere. Wow. Holy crap, I want more of that. Right? Like, people would tell me, I'm not interested in agent attraction. You know, I'm trying to go from 70 to 100 deals. Now, I happen to know that selling 100 deals is not that much more fun than selling 70. It's actually not. It's a lot less fun. And let me tell you what's a lot less fun than that, selling 500. You want to talk about the most miserable I ever was in my life was when I was selling 500 homes a year. That's my claim to fame. It was garbage. That's not the life I wanted. I wanted passive income, right? Like, that's the goal. So once you get that passive income, I'm telling you right now, that's when it changes the game. Make sure your people have that opportunity to have that experience, even if they don't believe or they don't think that's what they're interested in. The minute money shows up in their account, they're gonna be like, okay, now tell me again, what am I supposed to do? Because I want to do that, I want more of that. So I promise you. So would you rather talk to your new recruits' top 10 sharpest, most ambitious prospects, or 10 random people that you're just trying to come up with through scrolling through Instagram, right? If they got 10 ambitious, sharp, like-minded people that they know that they can introduce, I'd rather talk to those people. I like talking to smart people. Dumb people drive me crazy. So give me all the smart people you can, because smart people seem to get this, right? It's like, smart people get it. This isn't rocket science here. So, especially ones that have been through it, that's for sure. So you haven't recruited someone until you help them bring a friend. This is just something that you should be dedicated to, making sure you help them get one. number one, they're way less likely to ever leave, and you get them at least to see the opportunity, and some of those people are going to turn into your best people that are in your group. So follow up. What did you like about what you saw? Another mistake that I was making. I would say, what did you think? Well, people answer that question differently. They say a lot of dumb things sometimes, like, well, I think it's a bunch of BS. What I think, I don't believe anything, whatever. So I stopped asking that question. I was like, this is a dumb question. What did you like about what you saw? Amazing. Huge difference in the answer. What did you like about what you saw? They'll tell you what they liked. If somebody stayed on and watched the entire video, I can tell you this. They liked something. There was something they liked or they'd have got off. If they get off in 15 minutes, 27 seconds, or whatever, then maybe they didn't like any of it. Maybe they're not interested. That's fine. Now when you follow up with that one, you're just getting them to watch the video again, right? Like, hey, I know you probably didn't get a chance to watch it because I know you didn't watch it because you don't know this, but I have a little thing that tells me if you did, right? Facts. It makes it 10 times easier. If you're following, first of all, that fundamentally, I'm going to say it again because I want to make sure everybody got it. If you don't know if somebody watched the video and you following up with them, you're just blindly following up with people that they can lie to you and you're never going to know if they actually ever watched the video or not. You need to know, because if they did and they got to the end, what did you like about what you saw? If you ask that question, you'll know whether they watched it or not. But you want to be able to track that. So the three-way call, this is absolutely been the thing that's been the most effective, and I feel like it's one of the most valuable things that I do for my group is three-way calls, because I can help get them through the process, answer their questions, and tie it all together. What I mentioned with James Massey and Andre LaFountain and Dan Hillsman, the reason their groups are growing really big, it's not because I have to do their three-way calls anymore. What duplicates works. They're able to do three-way calls. You listen to me do it 40 times, I don't care who you are, you'll be able to do the same thing I do. I'm not rocket scientist here, okay? Like, I'm just following a simple process to help them see that anything that they want to accomplish, they can get by partnering with us at EXP, right? That's it. And so the three-way call is a huge piece of the process. Somebody in your revenue share group, if not, I do them for other people all the time. I'll help you. Let me do them. Listen to me. Get on there. Listen and listen. Well, first of all, there's a process. I won't get into all the details, but just get on and shut up. But then at the end of the call, listen to that again, and you'll learn what the process is. It's not that hard. So you can be with anyone in your upline or anyone, it doesn't matter where they're at, anyone that you can use to edify. And this is huge. It creates trust. Whenever you're selling somebody on something, what does it create? Resistance. Anytime somebody's selling you, you're going to resist, right? When you're selling them on, hey, man, this person used to kill it. They were doing this many deals. They were awesome. You're going to love them. If I could get them on a call, would you be willing to jump on? Yeah, sure. Why not? Sounds good. So they'll jump on that call. But if you're trying to sell them on answering their questions, yeah, it's this and this is it. Answer all their questions. I remember Dan Hillsman, he literally 6 months in, I said, don't answer any of their questions. Schedule a three-way call. Dan is a very good student. Dan said, hey, man, it's about 6 months into it. I've done a bazillion calls with him, it seemed like. And he said, they asked me questions like, what's the split, or what's the cap? Can I answer those questions? Because I know the answers to a lot of those, and I could probably answer some of them. I was like, actually, well, that might be why this was working so well, right? Get me on the call every time. I'm going to help you close them. But at a certain point, Dan was good enough. He didn't need me, right? He knew what to say. He knew the process. He knew how to follow it. Then he's teaching his team the same thing. They're getting calls, and they're putting them on his calendar. And Dan does a three-way call as good as anybody in this company. So he's helping people bring people over. Does this make sense to you guys? Right? Listen, leverage. It's great. It's beautiful. It's less work for you. All you got to do is get good at inviting. Do that one thing really well, and then get them on a three-way call and then shut up. That's it. I'm telling you, if you try to overcomplicate this, because we're all entrepreneurs and we're all going to do it. I understand that. I did it too. You're going to overthink everything. But if you just do that one simple thing, that is the simple system. Keep in mind, I'm teaching this coming from the guy from Lawton, Oklahoma, that basically I'm the least likely person to. I'm going to make the simplest process I can make with the least amount of effort. That's what I do. Okay, that's my superpower. So this is the least amount of work you could possibly do to get the result. Okay, I'm not trying to run marathons here. Okay, so all right. So three-way script. John, I'm glad you're interested. Now, I'm relatively new to EXP, and because I respect your time and I expect you'd want to get the most accurate information from the best source, you should know that I'm working directly with someone that's leading the national expansion for the company. She knows how to make the big money, how the big money is made here. You'll love her. She's fun and easy to work with, which you will see very quickly. But most importantly, she's so down to earth and just like she loves to help people. I'm gonna really try. I'm gonna give her a try really quickly, just to borrow a few minutes of her time to pop on the phone with you, to share some insights with you and answer any questions you might have. That's a simple script, right? People will say yes to that. So the agenda on the three-way call. Share your background, your story about why you joined. Mention the success that you've already had. Mention the many success stories across your entire organization. Be relatable. What problem did it solve? And what situation were they in? I'm here, I'm trying to go from A to B. I'm trying to go from 10 deals to 20 deals. I'm trying to go from 40 deals to 60 deals. Whatever it is, tell those stories. We have tons of stories of agents that came over and they were producing here and now they're producing there. That was their goal. When somebody tells me that's their goal, I say, hey man, I want to introduce you to this agent in New Jersey. She's killing it. And when she came to us, she was doing 40 deals. Now she's doing 100 deals, right? And here's how we helped her do that. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I'm interested. Tell me more, right? Ask what questions that they have. Let them know what the next step is. So here's the next step. I'm going to send you an application. You're going to fill out that information. It doesn't mean you're moving over right now, but they're going to at least send you the application so you can look at that. I think that's the first step in the process. If you're thinking about this, I say if you're 80% interested, that's what I'm going to tell you the next step is. On that three-way call, I'm going to send you the application. I'm going to tell you what to do to fill it out, or I'm going to do it with you, which is even a better process. Let them know what the next step is. I'm gonna have the sponsor send over the application. If they're not ready now, set them up with the next engagement. Hey man, invite them to the next lunch and learn, or invite them to this next event, or bring them to another presentation, or to another somebody that you can have another three-way call. Somebody that has maybe a different angle when they do these calls. So try. Don't ever let them get off the phone without the next engagement because they were interested. You just still have to keep working on them. Does that make sense? You guys with me still? We're almost done. All right. Get in versus let in. This is my favorite, maybe my favorite slide. I do not want everybody. I do not. And sometimes I meet people that I don't want. And that's okay. This isn't a we're trying to get people in. This is you're lucky if we let you in. That's the mindset. Right. That's it. That is the philosophy. Like if you know how lucky people would be to be able to get in and partner with all of us in this business model? Unbelievable, right? So treat it that way. Treat it that way. Don't come in like you're trying to get them. You're evaluating whether you want to let them in, right? So the systems. This is something we're not going to talk about. We don't have time, but there's plenty of stuff and training and stuff that we've provided around this area. But you better have an agent sales success system. One of the most important things, and I think I have a slide towards the end that may be my last slide, but like agents aren't your opportunity, they're your responsibility. When you treat this opportunity it's my responsibility to help these agents become successful, that's when this thing is going to take off for you. When that becomes the focus, it ain't numbers, all that stuff is great, but that only comes when you decide to build systems to help people become more successful. Make sure that they get on board correctly. Make sure they join the right Facebook group, the workplace groups that they need to be a part of, that they've gone through all the onboarding that's provided through EXP, that they have on the first page of their phone is workplace, right? And workplace chat, because that's going to be how they can easily communicate. If they don't have that, they're probably going to feel lost at some point, right? So all of these things are systems that have to be. So agent attraction success, that's the system I just taught you guys today. That's one system. And then leaders creating leaders. Now you're becoming a leader and you're teaching your group to teach the system to their people. That's the last system that you have to have in place. So leaders, and we'll be done here in 2 minutes. Leaders creating leaders, creating leaders. When you create a leader who can also create another leader, who can also create another leader, that is what multiplies, that is what duplicates. When you see these big numbers up here, this doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of leaders, creating leaders, teaching a process. You saw a couple different strategies. They all work. Evidence is here. Lunch and learns, you've seen that strategy works. As leaders creating leaders, they're teaching their leaders how to involve them, teaching them how to get people to lunch and learns. They're teaching them that process, and then they're teaching their leaders to teach their people that they bring in to do the same thing. Does that make sense? So that's where the focus shifts to. At a certain point, you're going to shift your focus to what your day will look like will be something like this. So massive communication equals massive income. 25% of your time contacting new people, 25% of your time following up with existing prospects, 25% of your time doing three-way calls or third-party closes for someone on your team, and 25% of your time calling your team to promote the next event and make sure that you're getting people here. First of all, I want to say this. I've seen a lot of people here that brought a lot of people to this event. And so what I would tell any of you that were brought or invited to this event, just tell them thank you, because they liked you enough to want to make sure that you at least got to see this opportunity in its entirety, and then you can decide for yourself, right? So You have to genuinely care about your team's goals and inspire them to hit their goals. A good leader knows their team's why. You better know what is the reason that they joined? Why? What did they believe? What were they hoping was going to happen? You need to know what's important to them so that you can help them accomplish that goal, and you always know what it is that's really inspiring them and why they joined in the first place. You must focus on developing people versus making sales. There's a fundamental difference. Developing people is not the same thing as making sales. We used to just make sales in real estate. Here, our focus becomes developing people, helping grow people. This is one that's a gut check. Yeah, would you follow you? Right? Ouch. Would you follow you? Are you doing the things? Would somebody, because people join people, I'll tell you that. They don't just join this company, they're following you. And if you're not living at the highest your capabilities are, then would other people follow you? So you got to step up too. In order for you to attract people to this company, you have to step up your game, right? Your goal is to duplicate yourself. Your goal should be for people out under your team to out-earn you. I'm hoping that I don't have to get up on the stage anymore. There's so many more qualified people that could be up here teaching right now. Hundreds. My goal is to be off the stage and other people be teaching. You know why? Not because I don't want to get up here and do it. Well, I do want to wear my board shorts. I haven't worn jeans in like 2 years, so it was a really weird day. But I wish I was making that up, but I'm not. Actually, I don't. Actually, I like wearing board shorts every day, actually. It's like part of my plan. So what leaders do? Solve problems, turn challenges into positives, keep your downline on track and plugged into the system. Promote calls and events, run contests for your team, help them set goals, inspire, motivate using stories, teach how-tos, read motivational books, and promote the same. Be a good financial example. Never fracture from the company's vision. I'm going to share, always edify. Allow themselves to be led. Be responsible, accessible, reliable, caring, empowering. Track their business, know your numbers. Be in pursuit of mastery. Become a better speaker, presenter, recognize others for their accomplishments. Give away credit, accept blame. Raise the lid for the team. Sit in the front row, be engaged at events. Yeah, that's leadership, right? No, y'all get, the shenanigans will happen after, man. We only had to be here 3 hours today, right? Like, y'all have fun after that, but be in the room. Connect massively and communicate massively. Vision question. This is a good question. Take a picture of this one. If we were having this conversation 3 years from today, what would need to have happened both personally and professionally for you to say that this was successful? When you ask that question, you're going to get an idea of what their real vision is, what they really want. So when you ask a person that question, you're going to know exactly what it is that they're coming over for. Man, I would be really happy. If I could make $5,000 a month in revenue share, I would say that was the best decision I ever made, right? This is another thing, recognition, huge, okay? This is something that we do for our group. At a certain point, when you're leading your team, you're going to want to start doing things to recognize people that are doing the things that are working, right? So we have a top 200 list, and we have a rev share group leaders list, which shows the potential actual income that they could be making if they have all 7 levels unlocked based upon their revenue share group size. And it is very inspiring, folks. Like, let me tell you, how many of you have watched these speakers here today and you've said, or I've gotten text messages, man, I want to be up there on that stage next year. How many of you feel that? Right? That's the goal. Like that's what that is. I'm telling you right now, the people that have told me that in my life say, man, I'm going to be up there on stage next year, are the people that get up on stage the next year. Right? And so you want to have systems for rewarding people, keeping people excited and motivated. This is the shift to leadership. Modeling success. The multi-million-dollar earners all desire to be the best at their craft and excel in the following areas. Speaking ability, your ability to get up and speak. Motivating and leading, creating leaders, storytelling. Here, how many you hear some great storytellers? You know who might be the best storyteller? Gene Frederick, right? One of the best storytellers I've ever heard. He understands and learns the craft of how to inspire action through telling stories. So keeping the business simple, presenting the opportunity. Treat this amazing opportunity to earn revenue share by bringing agents to EXP like a business, and you'll not only change your own life, but you're going to change the lives of many others. And that's what this is really all about. It's changing the lives of others. It's not about you. It's about the impact you can make on people's lives. That's it, guys. Thank you very much.